Hello students, this is Priyanka and I welcome you all for our day 5 session. From last session, we have started with the advanced web designing part after revising all the important basic concepts which were required for advanced web designing. So let us move further and see what new we will learn today in this session. So we will again quickly revise all the advanced input elements as the further part which we will study today is related to it. Then next we will see how to apply validations to the controls, and later we will see how to restrict the inputs entered by the user. So let us move to the next slide. Now this slide shows all the input elements in the tabular format which we have already seen previously. We also saw how they individually work and how the output is displayed in the browser. So let us quickly revise again what all we saw in the last session. Also students, one more thing I would like to tell you that please type this code and execute by yourself on your PC, which will be very helpful. See, simply by explaining here, you won't understand it thoroughly. For that, you must execute the code personally. Until and unless you will get error, you will not be thorough, right? So it is my humble request that you try the code to execute by yourself, and then you can understand it thoroughly, right? So let us move to the next slide. Again here some more elements. Now here so first type we saw input type equal to color. Here I will just quickly revise what exactly it means. In this control you will get a box. You can see on the left side there is a black color box. So this acts as a color picker element. So if you want some color picker in your web page, you need to use this input type equal to color. So when you will click on that black box, you will see a dialog box is open which contains different colors. So you can select whichever color you want and click on OK. That black color will get changed to the required color. I hope it is clear. So next slide. Next, input type equal to number. Now here you will get a text box which will accept only a numerical value, right? So you have to enter number. That is what restriction we are giving to it, that here only numbers are expected. And if you can see at the right side there are two arrows. One is going upwards and one is going below, downwards. So if you click on upward, the number will change, and if you click on downward, maybe it will increase, and on the below side if you click it will decrease, something like that. Next, third, input type equal to URL. Now this is again a text box and which is expecting a correct URL to be entered. If you can see, I have purposely made wrong entry, that is www, and one W is missing. So you can see it is giving me an error. So it is checking that it is not a correct URL. Next, input type equal to image. Now this control is used to create a submit button. Understand what I am telling, that this is used to create a submit button. We already seen what is the work of submit button. Submit button's work is whatever the data is filled, it is to be submitted to the server when the submit button is clicked. For submit button, previously we were using input type equal to submit, but now we want a submit button to appear as an image. For that purpose, we are using the control as input space type equal to image. Now this image you can give height to the image, width to the image, and there is a attribute src, that is the source, where you mention the file name with the extension or the path of the file with the extension, right? So you can see in the below code I have written a syntax where I am calling a rose.jpg with height is 30, width is 100, and below you can see the output that you have got a submit button which is containing the image, right? Next, input type equal to date. So this control is used to generally get the date. So when you will create this control, you will get a text box, and if you click on it you will get a calendar. You can see on the right side there is a calendar which allows you to select a particular date, and once you have selected the date, you can see on the lower side of text box that date is in format of date dash month name dash year, right? Next, input type equal to email. This text box is again expecting the user to enter the correct email address. So here again I have written a wrong email ID, where in an email address @ symbol is mandatory and which is missing. So it is indicating, it is telling the user that please include an @ in the email address, right? So this is how the email control works. Next, below you can see the seventh control is input type equal to month. Now input type equal to month, you will get a box. When you will click, you will get a calendar. Now from that calendar you can click on any date. Only the month part and the year part is taken from it, since it is input type equal to month. So the mandatory thing or the important thing is month for us. So if that is the case, you need to use this month control when the month and year is important. Previously we saw date, right? The next control we'll see. The eighth control is input space type equal to range. Now you can see there is a slider. So if you will move to the left side, the value will decrease, and if you move to the right side, it will increase. So you can see in many websites these type of controls are there, right? When you use the slider, instead of typing some value or clicking, you simply need to drag it. So if you drag on left side, the value will be decrease, and if you drag it to the right side, it will increase, right? So next, ninth, input type equal to date time dash local. Now here observe, when you will click the text box, again the calendar is open. You will click on the date part will be there, and also here you have to mention the time. So if you observe the left side of text box, you will see the day means the current date with the month, year, and after that there is a time that is in hour, means what is the time, minutes, and AM or PM. This is how the date time local control works. So let us move to the next control. Input space type equal to time. Now here, since the type is time, so what is important? Time is important. So here you will get the time in format of the current time, that is month, minutes, and hour, and AM or PM, right? So next control is input type equal to week. So here you can see again the important thing is week, means the control is going to concentrate on the week part. So again you will get a calendar, and whenever you will select any particular date, after selecting that date, it will calculate the total number of weeks completed, means that date falls in which week of the year. So if I select 26th April, it is showing that it is currently in week 17. Then next control, input type equal to search. Now this control gives again a text box. It is generally like a search box of a search engine. Wherever you enter the information, and you are getting a cross in the right side, so that if you want to delete all, you will simply click on the cross and all the information will get deleted or erased. Next, 13th control is input type equal to tell. Now this tel is generally used for a telephone number when you want a user to input a telephone number. So if I simply write input space type equal to tel, it will simply act as input space type equal to number, means it will accept numerical values but it won't check anything. For checking the proper format, see students, generally mobile number, if I enter 12 digit, 13 digit, if I simply use input space type equal to tel, it will accept my that 11 or 12 digit number. It is wrong. So here we want to check it. For that purpose you will use its attribute pattern for that. So in the note you can see exactly how the pattern attribute is used with input space type equal to tel. So what it is given, input space type equal to tel means you are using for a telephone number, right? But how the pattern should be, now in this pattern you can see how the format has to be. So in the square bracket you can see 0 to 9 is the range, means from 0 to 9 are the number accepted for that number, and after that in the curly braces it is written 2, means 2 digit number is there, and this 2 digit number can be made up of any numbers from this 0 to 9 range. And after that there is a dash, and again there is a range given in square bracket, that is 0 to 9, and after completion there it is given curly braces 10, curly braces close, means now here you want 10 digits who will be made up from the given range, that is 0 to 9. So this is called as a regular expression, means a pattern how a mobile number should be. So here the first 2 digits are the country code, then there is a dash, and after that there is the exact 10 digit mobile number, right? Next, input type equal to file. Input type equal to file, generally it is used when you have to upload something. So you can see you will get a button choose file, and when you will click that button you will get a dialog box opening, and it is allowing you to select the file whichever you want that is there in your machine, and if you say open, that particular file will be uploaded. So for such case you will use input space type equal to file. This type allows you to select a single file, right? We can of course select and upload multiple files. Today we will see how to do it in the upcoming part. So this was the last part which we have seen earlier. Now today we will start with the actual input instruction. Using instructions on the input given by the user, we can validate the control. Here we can validate or check if the data entered by the user is in the proper format or not. If it is not expected, or if it is not in the expected format, then we force the user to change and enter the correct format. So this is called as a validation, means when the user is entering some data and if it is not as expected, we prompt him to enter the correct format. So this is how validation works. So let us see how to actually put restriction to the input and perform validation on it, right? So this table consists of different attributes which can be used with the input tag to apply restrictions to the controls. So today we will see each one individually, how it is created, how it works, and the output of the same in the browser. So let us move to the next slide. So this is the first input restriction, that is disabled. It is used with the input tag. As the name suggests, the control is used to disable the control, right? Using this attribute you can disable the control, means the user cannot enter anything in this control. And if you can see in the below output, it is shown in gray. So you cannot click on it. It is not clickable. You cannot make any changes. Means no activity can be done on it. So why? Because it is disabled. It might be happen that some control you want to make or keep disabled. Means user should not control it. So such controls or elements of a form you can keep disabled. Means user cannot perform any activity on the same control. Right? So moving on to the next control or the next attribute. Second, it is MIN, that is minimum. Now using this attribute, we can restrict the user to enter a value which has to be greater than or equal to the value mentioned in this attribute. Now what it exactly means, we will see in the example. So if you see in the below syntax, what it is given, input space type equal to number, means you will get a text box which is expecting a numerical value in this box, but we are using some restriction on it. What it is, that MIN equal to 4, means the whatever value you enter, it has to be greater than or at least equal to 4, not less than that. So what is happening here? Here we are restricting user to input a value with some condition, that is at least the value should be greater or less than greater or equal to 4, right? Next, third attribute is max. So it is similar to minimum, whatever we saw just now, only the value entered must be less than or equal to the mentioned value. Previously it had to be greater than, and in max it should be less than, right? So we'll see in the example what it is given. Input type equal to number and maximum max is 9, means here we have to enter a number, but the value must be less than or equal to 9, means you can enter a digit up till 9. After 9 it is not allowed. So the maximum range is what? Till 9 you can enter. Now the fourth control, and very important, we just saw it in the input space type equal to tel when you are using a telephone number. So what it is given, this is generally used to check the input values in if it is matching to some regular expression mentioned in the value of this attribute. We'll see what it is meaning. Generally this attribute is used with tel, input space type equal to tel. Why? Because a telephone number could be a mobile number or it could be a landline number, and both the numbers format or the expression is different. We previously saw the mobile number. The mobile number format or the expression for the mobile number is how first two digits are the country code, then there is a hyphen, and then there are 10 digits of the mobile number. Similarly, a landline number, it has got a STD code, that is 3-digit number, and then there is a dash, and after that there is maybe 8-digit landline number. So this is the expression or format for landline number. That is why for such cases we use a pattern attribute. So we will see how does it work. So in the syntax you can see input space type equal to tel, and just now we saw this example that it is expecting 2 digits for the country code from the range 0 to 9 hyphen again 10 digits of a mobile from 0 to 9. So I won't again explain this, we just saw what exactly it means. And in the output you can see I have inputted a wrong mobile number, so it is not matching to the requested format. So that regular expression which we have given in the pattern, it is not matching, right? So next is what? Read only As the name suggests, you can simply read the value. You cannot make any changes in the value, right? So we will see how the syntax is. You can see input space type equal to text, and in this text I am giving some value. So whenever the form will load, it will have that value in the text box. If read only is not there, I can change this value, but since I have used read only with this control, so that Norway, whatever value I have given in the text box, it is only readable. I cannot make any changes to that value since it is read only. If the read only attribute is not used, I can change the value of the text box. Understood? So read only means it allows you to only read the value, right? Next, sixth, placeholder. See, generally it hints the user what is expected to be entered as the input. So it generally acts as a temporary label to the control, though it looks similar to read only. See, here also in the text box there is a value, but in read only that value cannot be changed, and here it is just hinting. The first name which you observe in the box is not its value, it is just hinting what is expected. So if my text box doesn't have a label, why we give label to some text box or some controls? Because the user understands that I have to enter this particular thing. Suppose my text box label is given first name, so he understands in that text box I have to enter the first name only, right? So something like that. The label is not required if you are using a placeholder, right? Next, so the seventh attribute is required. Now in some cases, when some inputs are mandatory to be filled by the user, means in a form there can be one or two elements which the user cannot keep blank while submitting the form. So for such cases, user should be restricted or should be told that it is required. For that purpose, we can use the required attribute, right? Means until and unless that particular control is not given the input, the form is not submitted. So for such cases, you can use the required attribute. So you can see in the syntax how it is used. Input space type equal to text, means here it is expecting some text to be entered. But if I don't enter anything and if I press enter or submit button, what error it is giving? Please fill out this field, means it is making compulsion to the user that you have to fill the value. Until and unless it is filled, your form will not get submitted. Generally we get this type of error many times for filling up many forms, right? Next, autocomplete. Now we can see this attribute autocomplete. This generally allows the form, the whole form or the input control to use this feature. We will see how exactly it works. See, whenever you are filling any form for the first time, suppose you are filling some Gmail registration form for the first time. Register we use once only. So for the first time, suppose you are filling all the data. So when you have filled all the data, you will click on register or submit, and that particular data is sent to the server, right? Now again second time when you are trying to log in, then you can see that your username automatically comes. When you simply click into the box, you will see the email ID in the box. In the example below output, you can see in the first name, if in the text box I have clicked and I have typed P, in the below you can see it is telling me that Priyanka is there. So this is how autocomplete works, means the data is automatically filled in the form. But remember, for the second time, first time you have to fill everything. When you are trying to again visit that particular form and trying to fill, then that auto fill is used. I hope you are getting me whatever I am trying to say. Generally you can see in your gmail login, means once you have logged in, it won't ask you to type again. You simply select whatever is given in the option. This is how autocomplete works. Next, ninth control is autofocus. Now this control is used to focus some control automatically when the page is loaded. We'll see with an example. Now in the output you can see I have got two text box and one submit button. So the code for my text box, first name I am using autofocus feature, and for the second text box I am not using the autofocus attribute. So whenever my page will load, the first one, that is first name control, will get focused, means it is showed in blue color, means what is happening, it is focused. See, something when focused, your mind get diverted to that part. So this is what happening, that it is focusing the element which is using the autofocus attribute, right? Whenever the page is loaded, means whenever you will refresh the page or you will open the page for the first time, it will be focused. Now next, height and width, we'll see them together. So height and width we have already seen. Generally these give height and width to maybe some image. Generally these attributes are used with input space type equal to image. So for an image we definitely need to give some height or width. So this is how height and width attributes are used. You can see in the syntax below, input space type equal to image, then src is the name of the file or the path of the file, then space height and width, right? So next attribute, and I think it will be the last attribute, that is the multiple. Now as the name suggests, multiple, it allows multiple values to be entered. It is used with input type equal to email and file, etc. For an email, this allows multiple email IDs to be entered in that box with comma separation. Means if I am giving two email IDs, those will be separated by a comma. Next, I can also use multiple with the files. So if I am using with the file type control, it allows me to make multiple selection of the files when uploading. So in the output you can see I am using input space type equal to file. Now the first you can see without multiple attribute I am getting what? Choose file. And below you can see with multiple attribute, means input space type equal to file space multiple, you can see what it is giving, choose files. Here only you will get the hint that previously it was simply choose file, means it allows only a single file to be selected, and below you it gives choose files, means it allows you to select multiple files. So here you will see how the output comes for multiple files control. So here you can see choose file button I'll get when I will click and I will browse for the images. It allows me to select multiple files. You can see I have selected 4 image files, and if I will click on open, those 4 files should get uploaded, right? So this is how the file type control with multiple attribute works. Next, some more example we'll see. For email IDs, we just discussed that. See in the box, you can see there are 2 email IDs, x@gmail.com, and there is a comma for the second email ID. Similarly, in the next box, I am expecting some city's name. So Pune and comma Mumbai. So this is how the multiple attribute works. I hope it is clear. Yes. If you feel that this is difficult, you can go through the videos again and again to get the solution. Now next, in the next slide, I have given you one assignment. Take it as a homework, and I want you to give me the code for this particular output or a web page. So I request you to write down the question for this web page, means whatever is expected. So write down the question. Write an HTML program to get the following output with some criteria as follows. Number 1, the text box for the name should use the autocomplete feature. And also it cannot be kept blank. So for the first control, what it is required, that it should use the autocomplete feature, and if the name text box is kept blank, it shouldn't allow me to submit my form. I hope it is clear. Then second criteria, the number of years completed box should take values only given in the specific range. So here in the output you can see that the number of years completed should be between 1 to 100. And the last criteria, for the landline number, the format of the number is shown in the output, that is the first 3 digits for STD code, then hyphen, and the next 8 digits are for the actual landline number. So you will get the solution for this question in the video or the slides itself. So you can go through all the controls which we saw properly. We have also revised the previous advanced control. So everything you will get in this particular video. Just go through the video properly and then you can get the solution for this question. So we have completed with the advanced input elements and restriction. In the next session we will see the meta tag and some other concepts. Thank you.